Mrs. Keeper, and welcome back to On Air. During yesterday's broadcast, we let you know that AVON, after all its troubles in 2011, has started out 2012 with a fantastic announcement. The AVON has just been awarded by the Human Rights Campaign Foundation with the tag of Best Place to Work for lesbians and gays, bisexuals, and transgenders. We are absolutely proud of AVON because this truly represents the best of what direct selling is all about. AVON is the only company in direct selling here in the U.S. to receive such an honor. With that in mind, yesterday we began to rebroadcast our 2009 story about gays and lesbians in direct selling, the only media ever to do such a story in direct selling. We decided to take a step back in time and replay part one of our Kara Kowalski interview. Kara Kowalski, the then prepaid legal distributor who came out as a lesbian distributor and wanted to talk about her experience here on Direct Selling Live. So today we complete with part two, the Kara Kowalski interview, Gays and Lesbians in Direct Selling.
No family can survive on 2 incomes anymore, let alone 1. If you are supplementing your family's income working from home, then tune into The Cash Flow Show, Direct Sales Radio. Host Deb Bixler brings you sales tips, lead generation systems, and best business practices that guarantee direct sales success. Whether you're looking for a little extra cash or a career change, The Cash Flow Show, Direct Sales Radio will give you proven systems that will work in your home business. The Cash Flow Show, every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 5 p.m. Pacific Time on World Talk Radio Variety.
The people that are negative about, gays and lesbians are, few and far between, and I choose just to back away from those people. I mean, there's so many people out there that are accepting that you can really, you don't have to tolerate their discrimination any more than they have to tolerate you. Basically, stay away. You can choose who you associate with.
Right. So I think you're absolutely correct. Last year, in fact, right before the 2008 presidential election, we did a poll on Direct Selling Live to ask our members how many of you are Republicans, how many of you are Democrats, and how many of you are independents. 65% of the distributors identified themselves as Democrats, 30% as Republicans, and 5% as independents. Now, I contrast that with this. The majority of owners, from what we've been able to tell, are Republicans. So when we look at the lifestyle of the gay community, it seems to me that the people that have the biggest problem with it are the company owners and not the distributors, the people who you are looking to make customers or those prospects. What do you think of the contrast between the more liberal distributor, who's more accepting of the gay lesbian lifestyle, as opposed to the more conservative company owners who typically aren't?
Well, I think that in order to be, as you said, a company owner, especially in multi-level marketing, because it's so different from traditional business, that they have to have an open mind about a lot of different things and new ideas. They are going to be, they could potentially be more accepting than, your traditional ultra-conservative Republican business owner. So that may not really be an issue. I mean, I don't find that it's really that big of an issue.
What I was thinking is that because you don't have as much direct contact with them and you're more out in the field, it has very little impact on you. But where I see the impact,
very little impact.
Yeah, well, where I could see the impact coming is that they control the marketing material. They control the message. And as you said, we are an industry that touts itself on being open and being accepting of a lot of things, because in order for you to even get into this industry, you have to think a little differently. So
right.
It's always
but
interesting.
What I was going to add kind of to what you had said before about, kind of piggybacked on the last question, is that I think if straight people were to come out of their shells a little bit and say, hey, we don't care if a person's gay or not, as long as they have the skills and abilities, just like the archdiocese that you were talking about. It doesn't matter, but it's the straight people that also need to voice their opinion or lack of opinion on somebody based on their sexual orientation. And so that would also help the gays and lesbians to feel more comfortable to come out if they knew that there was so much support. For myself, I had to just take the next step and just come out and tell people what I found, because I was so afraid, and I still am, of being discriminated against. But if, more straight people would say, hey, it's really not that big of a deal, I still like you or care about you or think you're a good business person regardless, what does that have to do with your skills and abilities to talk to people or run a successful business? Then it would be a lot easier for the gays and lesbians to come out.
I completely agree. Because all I'm interested in is, are you good at doing the business? Can you sell the product?
Right.
Can you get people to partner with you? Everything else,
right. Are you good? Can you talk to people? Do you care about people? Do you, are you passionate about things, about life? Are you reliable? Are you responsible? Are you honest? Can we hold you accountable to do what you say you're going to do? What does that have to do with being gay or lesbian? Nothing.
Completely agree.
That's just basically, your personality and how you were raised and what kind of adult you are.
We're certainly seeing in politics today, and even some of our social leaders, that just because they are in a position that has a nice title attached to it, governor, senator, congressman, congressperson, whatever, they are not immune to things that might be morally incorrect for some people.
Right.
The bottom line is, are you treating people well, and are you honest, and do you operate with integrity? If you were to sit down with some company executives who are having a challenge understanding how to deal with their gay and lesbian distributors, what would be some of the things that you would say to them that would put them at ease or help them understand a little better what you just talked about? Because you're now, let's say you are the consultant, and you're here to educate them. What would you tell them?
Like, what kind of things would they have to deal with? Like, I'm not exactly clear on.
Well, the initial thing is going to be not accepting. It's like decades back when blacks couldn't vote. We weren't intelligent enough. We couldn't do a lot of things, but it took a tremendous amount of education to bring people around to the fact that, we've been on the wrong side of history with this. We need to sit down and pay attention and understand and be more tolerant of who they are, because at the end of the day, they're really no different than we are. There's really no difference whatsoever.
Well, exactly. So, I would just say that the executives need to, make the stand saying we don't tolerate discrimination in any form, and include, the sexual orientation, because the sexual orientation is not part of that equal equality in hiring, in jobs and stuff for every company. It's not required, as is the religion and the race and the nationality and all that. So they need to be the, if they're at the top, they need to be the example and say, hey, it's not going to be tolerated. And if it starts from the executives and then works its way down the line from the executives to the top executive directors and the directors and all the way down to the new associates in that company, you're going to have a community of acceptance versus it's just not, it just needs to be stated that it's not going to be tolerated. This is a business that anyone can do. That's the whole idea of network marketing. It doesn't matter what your background is, whether you're a janitor or an attorney, you can still do this business. From what I've seen in, my 2 years, is that's the whole idea. So why limit it to anything else? And I think another thing, I don't know where this would kind of fit in, but in all of the, like you mentioned, the discrimination against African Americans, it's somewhat similar because, we're discriminated against also, but in one major difference is if you're an African American, at least one of your parents is African American, so you don't see the discrimination within your own family. Whereas if you're gay or lesbian, you run the risk when you come out of being discriminated against by your own siblings, your own mother, father, children, if you've already had kids. So you're always looking for a group of people to fit into, because it may not be the people that you were raised by or the people that are in your household that you feel that acceptance. So, there again, it goes back to the company and the other people in the organization saying, hey, we accept everybody. We don't care as long as you're putting the work ethic into your business and, being honest and have integrity, we'll accept you. Mm-hmm. It's not about where you came from or, how you live your life, as long as you have integrity and you're a hard worker.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think you're absolutely correct when you say that there are some similarities. Because even within the black community, we can go through these issues depending on whether or not you're dark-skinned black or if you're light-skinned black. There are challenges there that we go through as a community. It has always been that way. I have family that has kids. One child, the majority of the family was very dark-skinned, but then one girl was very light. She was looked upon with a little more, how do I say, she didn't have as many obstacles within the family as the darker ones did. And this is, sometimes we deal with this as a community. But it goes back to, I guess, basically, if you're looking to discriminate against someone or some group, you will find what you're looking for. If you want to use that particular group as a group of fear, then that's what they will ultimately bear out for you. But I like what you said about being tolerant and understanding that you're here to do a job. We're in a business where anyone can do it. There was nothing in the contracted agreement that said you had to be of a certain sexual orientation. And the bottom line is, can you sell the product? That's it. It doesn't make any difference where you come from. Your education background is irrelevant. Your nationality is irrelevant. Your gender is irrelevant. And certainly your sexual orientation should be irrelevant.
Yeah, because it's like you said, if somebody wants to find something wrong with you, they're going to do it, whether you're gay or straight. Either you're, you need to lose weight. Oh, you're too skinny, you need to gain weight. Your hair is blonde, and I think it should be brown, Mm-hmm. So I think that's a lot of people that discriminate against gays and lesbians probably, find things wrong with a lot of people.
Yeah.
It's just that's a major thing to pick on.
Yep, absolutely correct.
And there are a lot of similarities, but like you said, the light skin versus the dark skin, I can't tell you what it's like to be a gay man. I think there's a lot of differences between lesbians and gays.
But you can tell me what it's like to feel discriminated against, and that's really what we're talking about.
Right, and the main thing is, even though you said there was lots of dark colored of the siblings and there was one light one, the fact is the whole family loved all the kids the same, whereas if you're a gay or lesbian person and, you're the only one, and then you have all these straight siblings, that's not always equal,
Yeah.
Your family does not see you the same way they see all the other people. I haven't been completely, written off by my family, but I've had some major issues. And if you're a black person or a Jewish person or an Indian person, you've got those, so are your cousins, so are your aunts and uncles, most likely. Mm-hmm. And they're not going to discriminate against you for that reason. But in my case, I'm a lesbian, so as far as I know, and I'm the only one that's come out in the family, so I've been discriminated against by, very, very close family members.
Yeah.
And that's where I've actually faced the most discrimination, is within my own family, and that's something else that every other minority probably doesn't face.
Unless you are, well, I'm going to say, unless you are someone like me, who's black, Christian, grew up poor, and you marry a nice, light Jewish girl who's well-to-do.
I was thinking, unless you're maybe biracial.
We had our challenges early on, but, like you just stick it out, and things do get better because people, after a while, began to understand who the individual is was far more important than what I thought they were all about. I needed to take a step back. It is quite the challenge, that is for sure. And the issue of the gay and lesbian lifestyle all around the world is, you know, the thing that everyone's picking on right now. I think you have shown a tremendous amount of courage. I really, really do. And people that I've spoken to about you are of the same mindset. There are a lot of people who are extremely pleased that you have come out and stuck to your guns about this. Like you said, there are more people accepting of this than there aren't, and it's just a matter of time. As we prepare to wrap this up, is there any other comments that you would just like to share or express? I think you are just a marvelous person, and I think you are a hero for a lot of people in this industry. I really do. A tremendous amount of courage.
Thanks. My big thing is just be true to yourself. It's not easy, just like most things in life. It's not easy to be gay. It's okay to be gay, but it's certainly not easy, and there's always going to be some form of discrimination. You know, the Civil War ended well over 100 years ago, and there's people who still discriminate against black.
Welcome to life, right?
Yeah, I mean, we've definitely made progress since the 70s, 80s, and 90s as far as, and even the early 2000s, as far as people accepting gays and lesbians and it being more accepted. There's definitely a lot of work to go. Personally, I'm glad that I wasn't 30 years old back in 1980 or even 1990, because it would have been a heck of a lot harder to come out to my family and stuff. Mm-hmm. But back to what I was saying, it's, you know, my thing is just, you know, the person, first of all, has to be true to themselves. That takes a lot of introspection and making sure you know yourself and what you really want, because it's a huge decision to come out to anybody. You have to first be comfortable with it yourself. It is different, you know, back to the differences. I mean, you don't have to say to yourself, am I really black? Well, yeah, you're black, you know, mm-hmm. But, you know, we have to decide, hey, what am I first? Something feels weird. Something's not quite right the way the world tells me I should be feeling and thinking of, you know, the opposite sex. What's going on with me? So you have to figure it out first, what you are, if you are gay, and then to come out to people, especially, you know, your family and your parents, and it is a big deal, mm-hmm. you know, but I think once you break past that barrier, it's an easier road, because you do find people that will accept you, and you can write off the people that don't accept you, you know? You just got to find the right people in your life. Unfortunately, it's not always your family members.
I know that all too well. I did want to ask you one thing before we finish. What do you, and you may not have any opinion on this whatsoever, and depending on how you want to answer this, you may not even add it. What do you think Prepaid Legal Corporate thought of you being on the Women of Power?
Well, I haven't heard anything from them. I did actually contact one of my upline executive directors that is very high up in the food chain, as you will. I just emailed him Sunday night, I think, to just, you know, see where I could take my website and everything. If they had an issue with it, they would have contacted me, but if it's not, you know, I haven't heard from them, so I'm assuming they don't have a problem with it. Do you even think that they know about it?
I'm certain.
I mean, I don't even know.
I'm certain they know about it. But it's not like there's much they could do about it anyway. As I had mentioned to you a while back, it would behoove them to take advantage of this and really position themselves as a company for everybody. One of the companies that's really, I've come to find out, has quite a community like this is Zango. Even though their distributors don't say much about it openly, but I recently found out that they have a number of gays and lesbians over there, and they're okay with it. They're just fine.
Mm-hmm. I think it's a bigger issue for the individual person, honestly, mm-hmm. and them being comfortable with themselves than it is or definitely should be for the company, because being gay is such a personal thing, because you have to openly acknowledge that, hey, I'm quote-unquote different from everybody else. Whereas, you know, like I said, you know, with your different nationalities or different skin color, that's not something you can hide. That's just, you know, that's the skin you wear, whereas this is putting yourself out there. So I think it's more for the individual distributor that it's more of an issue for them to, you know, be able to feel comfortable enough to come out and tell other people and feel acceptance, versus the company saying, oh, we don't like gays in our company, or we do like gays in our company, because that's basically, you know, saying a gay person is not as good as a straight person, and just like saying a black person is unintelligent versus a white person.
Very good.
So I don't think any company would, they certainly shouldn't discriminate.
Yeah, they would have a problem.
I don't think they would have a problem with that. Certainly not prepaid legal, who, you know, legal, you know, defending your rights and everything. And being gay is not a right. It's not a right. It's not a choice. It's just part of who I am. And I think that's important. It's a part of who I am. It's not the full, it doesn't encompass all of Kara Kowalski. It definitely affects my life, but make me who I am.
Mm-hmm. Well, that was really good. That was really good.
Everybody's got an opinion. Everybody's got advice. Everybody should to know how I should live my life. Everybody sees my future, just how it should be. Now who should I live for? Them or me? How it's gonna be? Hey, it's up to me. Yeah, it's gonna be. Oh, it's gonna be. It's up to me. Yeah, it's gonna be. I know they're well-intentioned, but that's well and good. When all is said and done, I've got
When my mother used to sell Princess House.
Joined them way that night.
Norma siempre vendía cosas de AVON.
Oh, it must have been around 1935.
But those knives were amazing.
The one lady's name was Mary Kay, and I said, oh, cosmetics will never sell on Party Plan.
Was a single mom and created these hair care products for black women and became the first self-made millionaire in the United States. I just think that's extraordinary.
Welcome back. After viewing the Kara Kowalski interview, certainly part 2 today, it really points out that from a direct selling standpoint, we have a tremendous opportunity to lead the world on social issues, to certainly be one of the world leaders, get into the conversation in a major way. After witnessing what Prepaid Legal did after Kara Kowalski was named to the Power 50 and the Women of Power in 2009, it is really refreshing and really quite an honor to know that AVON has received the title of Best Place to Work for Lesbians, Gays, Bisexuals, and Transgenders by the Human Rights Campaign. I think and certainly hope that this begins to let other companies know that you can do this, that you can really go after this community. After all, AVON is the #1 direct seller in the world. If you ever needed a lightning rod, if you ever needed a company to lead, what better one to follow, certainly on this particular topic, than AVON, a company for women. Next Thursday, January 26th at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Direct Selling Live will announce its annual Power 50, the list of the 50 most powerful, most influential in direct selling worldwide. In just a few seconds, we're going to show you a little teaser trailer, a little commercial for it, as we prepare to announce next Thursday, Direct Selling Live's annual Power 50. Hi, this is Keeper, CEO and founder of Direct Selling Live. On January 26th at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Direct Selling Live will announce its 4th annual Power 50. That's the list of the 50 most powerful, most influential. Notice I left off the word people. That's because we've come to find out that the 50 most powerful, most influential is not always people. It could be a product. It could be a service. It could be a company. And trust me, this year's Power 50 will reflect that. You know, as Power 50s go, the 2011 Power 50 honorees, for them and direct selling, it was an amazing year. It was a year that we saw direct selling take front and center stage when it came to politics, thanks to Amway's DeVos family. They're all over it. And when the DeVos family is front and center in politics, direct selling is front and center in politics, as is Trump Network's Donald Trump. Front and center, that's got to be his middle name. Also, Direct Selling Live, yes, Direct Selling Live, we got into politics with the launch of Direct Selling Live Politics 2012 in December. Direct Selling Live Politics, we've collected some of the best bloggers and writers politically in direct selling, and they're going to blog during the entire 2012 political campaign, and you will get a chance to not only watch them and follow them, you'll be able to leave comments and engage them. So we're also in the political mix. Speaking of politics, did you know that the DSA, the Direct Selling Association, had a political action committee? We didn't, and we very much doubt that very many of you did. But that's what happened in politics last year. What we also found, as it relates to direct selling, that our associations, they started to be challenged by direct selling media to assume a greater role, one beyond the need to just be trainers and just become business speakers. We're asking them to assume a greater role, to speak on more social and political subjects. Whether they do or not, I have no idea. But that was part of the conversation in 2012. We also saw some of these same associations trying to maintain or at least recapture the voices and their vision, because for some of them, they lost it just a bit. And I think we all can agree on that. We also saw the Direct Selling Association lose its captain. After 35 years at the helm of the DSA, Neil often stepped down. They've now put in some guy named Joe. Some guy named Joe Mariano. I don't know. Got you, Joe. Anyway, we also saw, as direct selling goes, a glut of new trainers on the internet come to challenge the tried and true, those who've been there and done that. It's crazy what is happening in direct selling. We saw new media rise, new media company rise to challenge the old. I wonder who that could be. All this is to say that when it comes to the annual Power 50, Power 54, there's been a shift in the force. Yeah, there's been a shift in the force. So on January 26th at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, the new power in direct selling will be unleashed. And you can only watch it here on Direct Selling Live. Next Thursday, here it comes, the annual Power 50, Power 54. There's been a lot that happened in 2011, as the little trailer commercial has indicated. There are going to be some tremendous changes on this list, and well, that it should be. A lot has happened, and a lot not only has happened in direct selling, a lot has happened in our world to impact direct selling. So get ready. We certainly hope that you come by and watch the show next Thursday, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's going to be a great announcement, one that you won't want to miss. It will continue to play for the entire year there and here on Direct Selling Live. Have a great day.